Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. We are back again already with another What's New at the Drugstore video. There have just been so many fun new launches lately. I have not been able to help myself walking into Target. I have a ton of fun makeup, hair care, skincare, and body care items to share, so let's jump right into it. Let's kick this video off with makeup. The first thing that I was so excited about is a new blush launch from Essence. This is called their Pure Nude Baked Blush. This is the shade Shimmery Rose, which, hi sweetie. You're tired, I can tell. I'm tired too. I wish I could take a nap with you. Shimmery Rose is a really pretty, bright, feminine, flirty pink. I would consider this to be like a petal pink, but I don't actually know what that means. I feel like this is the perfect kind of shade for spring because it really just brings such a healthy flush to the cheeks after a long, cold, hard winter. That is still not over yet. And I also have the shade Pink Flush, which is more of a neutral pink and is a little bit deeper than Shimmery Rose. Both of these are absolutely stunning. I am obsessed with this new blush formula from Essence. It's definitely very glowy on the cheeks. I was going to say highlightery, but it's not quite as intense as a highlighter. So I would say it's something that kind of borders on being a blush lighter, but it does just add such a beautiful glow, and they're really easy to work with. They have a nice amount of pigment. They're very blendable, and they have so many other beautiful shades. I feel like I'm gonna need to buy more because they are so freaking cheap. So if you're blush obsessed like me, highly recommend. Next is something that I found on Target's website, and I was so excited to test it out because it's called the Glowing Lip from Colourpop. So I thought it was going to be one of those sheer shiny lipsticks, but it's definitely not. And this just has quite a bit of pigment, which isn't a bad thing, but as a lot of you guys know, I'm really into the sheer shiny lip look, so this just wasn't what I was expecting. So definitely not a bad product by any means. If you want a nice pigmented creamy lipstick that you can get at Target, here you go. But if you're more into a lip look like this, like I am, then this will not be for you. And the other thing I don't love about this is that it kind of does just have that cheap lipstick smell. It's hard to describe. It's not like it smells gross or anything like that. It's just kind of off-putting. It's like a clay smell almost. I think that's the best way I could describe it. And I just don't really want to feel like I'm putting clay on my lips. And last for makeup is the new L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. This has been recently reformulated, and I did try the original, but years and years ago, so it's been a while. I was excited to test this out because you guys know how much I love the L'Oreal Hyaluronic Tinted Serum, and I used to be obsessed with the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation, so I feel like L'Oreal just makes some really nice complexion products. This is super lightweight and liquidy, so that is nice, but other than that, there wasn't a ton that I was obsessed with about this, because I feel like it just wasn't quite as good as my hyaluronic tinted serum in like every category. It definitely has more coverage than that product. I would consider it to be like a medium/full to full coverage foundation. What do they actually call this? They say it's medium coverage, so I would say medium to full, but it can definitely be built up to completely full coverage, and while that is nice, I feel like it just doesn't look as natural and skin-like when you do build it up to have a little bit more coverage. And the other thing I wasn't obsessed with is the finish. They say it's supposed to have a skin-like finish, but I feel like it's more natural on my skin, like natural to matte, versus something looking healthy and skin-like. It definitely does come to life a little bit more as the day goes on and my oils start to come through, but I feel like it takes a while to make this look nice. Or maybe I should say as nice as I want it to, because again, it's not like it's bad by any means. I just feel like I have really high expectations based on the complexion products that I do love and how they work on my skin. And I have had some luck with this foundation where it wears well, but I would say more often than not, it actually doesn't wear that well on my skin, and I feel like it ends up settling kind of weird and looking heavy and makeupy in some areas. So it's not terrible. I have absolutely tried worse foundations or foundations that look a lot worse on my skin by the end of the day, but it just didn't do what I wanted it to do most of the time. So this one is a pass for me. All right, let's move on to body care. First up is the Versed Buff It Out AHA Exfoliating Body Scrub, which I was really excited to test out. I am absolutely loving seeing the more skincare focused body care product launches lately, especially those that contain active ingredients like this one. So this has 1% glycolic acid, 9% lactic acid, and then 20% pumice, which is gonna give you that physical kind of scrubby exfoliation. And then on top of that, this has pomegranate enzymes, sunflower seed oil, and probiotics. The texture of this one threw me off because it's very, very fine, or like the scrubby pieces are really fine. So it kind of felt like I was rubbing sand on my body, which I just didn't love. I am used to physical exfoliants that have larger exfoliating pieces that, I don't know, just don't feel like sand. And on top of that, this doesn't really smell the best either. It's not bad, it just like doesn't really have an extra nice smell, which is definitely something that I look for in body care products. So those things made this a pass for me, which is a bummer because again, the ingredients are great and the packaging is so, so cute. Some body care products that did work for me though are the new Saltair, well, I guess the body washes aren't new, but they are new to the drugstore or Target specifically. And they are the Saltair Serum Body Washes. I did just film a video where I reviewed 2 of their shampoo and conditioner sets, but I don't know if that's going to be up by the time that this video is up. So if it is, I will list that in the description box below. If not, stay tuned. That'll be up within the next few uploads. But I was super excited to see this brand on the shelves at Target because I've been wanting to try it out, but I believe prior to that, it was only an online brand. The packaging is just so aesthetically pleasing. They have a lot of fun, bright colors as well, and all of these different scents that sounded amazing, and yeah. So this first one is called Santal Bloom, and this contains ingredients like manoi oil, cupachu butter, kukui oil, we got a lot of funny sounding ingredients, vitamin C, and niacinamide. So I love that these not only look cute and sound like they smell amazing, we'll get into the scent in a minute, and are available at the drugstore for an affordable price, but also have great ingredients. That is just so nice to see. You don't always see that. Yum. This one has notes of creamy sandalwood, sheer amber, and sensual musk. Delicious. And the other one I picked up is called Black Tide. This has algae, andiroba oil, Brazil nut oil, hyaluronic acid, and squalane in it. This one has notes of sunny mandarin, marina cords, and white jasmine, and they say that this is their most unisex scent, which I would definitely agree with. This is definitely much more masculine than this one, but not so much so that I feel like I'm putting on men's cologne when I use it. It's really good. And I actually ordered these body washes online because they weren't in my store yet, like the shampoo and conditioner sets were. And the issue that I had with shipping is that the bottles came dented. So I hope they do something to fix that in the future. That's the only issue that I have. Obviously, dents kind of like ruin the aesthetic a little bit. You can see that. But other than that, not a single complaint. They're only $12, and you bet I will definitely be buying more. Maybe just like all of the other ones. And last for body care is actually fragrance. This was such an exciting launch to see. This is the new Finery perfume line, and they have a bunch of different perfumes and body mists that are supposed to be dupes for some of the most iconic luxury fragrances of all time. So the scents that I picked up are Not Another Cherry, which is supposed to be a dupe for Tom Ford Lost Cherry. This has notes of wild cherry, rose, and amaretto, and I really like it. I don't have any fragrances that smell like this, just kind of like seductive and cherry-ish. Midnight Cafe is supposed to be a dupe for YSL Black Opium, and it has notes of creme de cafe, jasmine, and patchouli. And the last one I picked up is called Sweet on the Outside, which is supposed to be a dupe for Billie Eilish's Eilish perfume. This has notes of vanilla, cacao wood, and vetiver. They're all good, what can I say? They definitely don't last a super, super long time, but that is fine by me because they're $27.99. I mean, I'm not gonna expect that much at that price point, and I have a lot of perfumes that are significantly more expensive than that last the same amount of time. So not gonna be for you if you want the longest lasting perfume of all time, but if you're interested in an affordable dupe for some of those high-end fragrances, and there are a lot of others as well, check out Finery. First up is actually a sunscreen I forgot to include in the last new at the drugstore video. I already had this one. It is the Neutrogena Pure Screen Mineral UV Tint Face Liquid SPF 30. This comes in 3 different shades, and I have the shade Light for obvious reasons. The active ingredients are zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, so it's a mineral sunscreen, and in terms of inactive ingredient highlights, there's really not much aside from vitamin E and iron oxides, and it's fragrance and essential oil free. When I first squeezed this out of the tube, I was definitely hesitant about it because it's thicker and creamier than I'm used to in a sunscreen, and you guys know that I love really, really lightweight sunscreens, and even as I first started to apply it to my skin, I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like this. But I will say that as I continue to blend this into my skin, and once it's fully applied, it doesn't end up feeling heavy, and I actually end up liking how it feels. It's definitely moisturizing. Even though it's not the most weightless sunscreen I own, it is one that, again, I was like, oh, I don't actually hate this like I thought it was going to. And on my skin, I would say that the finish is natural to natural matte, and I think that that's really nice because there are so many tinted sunscreens out there that are just super, super glowy and dewy, and I know that's not for everyone, especially those of you that have incredibly oily skin. So if this was just like a little bit more lightweight, I feel like I would be obsessed with it. I like it. I think this is going to be one of those that grows on me over time, and it's definitely one of the best tinted sunscreens I feel like I've tried at the drugstore, for sure. So for those of you looking for an affordable tinted sunscreen that does not leave your skin looking oily, then this is one to check out for sure. Next is the Naturium Dew Glow Moisturizer SPF 50. This has been around for not a long time, but a few months, I think. It's just that it just recently launched at Target. This is a chemical sunscreen. The active ingredients are homosalate, octisalate, and avobenzone, and it has tons of nice inactive ingredients in it, including argan oil, vitamin E, niacinamide, olive M1000, bisabolol, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, and squalane. And it's also fragrance and essential oil free. I feel like I saw so many people raving about this when it first came out, so I was super intrigued by it, and I have to say I was a little bit thrown off when I first applied it. It's definitely thicker than I was anticipating, kind of similar to the L'Oreal situation. Thicker, creamier, but it does definitely feel very moisturizing. It blends into the skin nicely, and it has a really beautiful dewy finish on the skin. So for me personally, it's not something that I would reach for every day by itself. I think it's going to be an awesome option for those of you that have really dry skin, or if your skin's feeling extra dehydrated or looking dull. Girl, I'm so sorry. I hope she's not too distracting. She's definitely in a very like rambunctious, rebellious teenager phase right now, and that makes filming difficult. So I just try to do what I can to get her to calm down a little bit and be able to film, and right now that means her sitting on my lap. So if your skin is looking dull or feeling dehydrated, or you just always have dry skin year round, then I think that you will love this. If you're super, super oily, I would avoid. I think that there are going to be other options out there that you prefer to this, but all around, it's definitely a nice sunscreen and a great one for the winter time. Next is another sunscreen. We have a lot of new sunscreens today. This is the L'Oreal Revitalift sunscreen, okay? Broad spectrum SPF 50 plus antioxidants, invisible UV fluid. Why do they always do this? Like, what is the actual name of this? Okay, my guess is that it's the L'Oreal Paris Revitalift Invisible UV Fluid Sunscreen with SPF 50. This is also a chemical sunscreen. The active ingredients are avobenzone, homosalate, octisalate, and octocrylene, and the inactive ingredient highlights are vitamin E, adenosine, vitamin C, lecithin, and it's fragrance and essential oil free. This one threw me for a loop because when I first squeezed it out of the bottle, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna love this. It's ultra liquidy and runny. It feels lightweight at first. I was so excited about it. But as I started to apply it to my skin, I was like, this is feeling greasy. It's given me a little bit of grease. Sometimes a sunscreen can feel that way when you're applying it, but then it kind of goes away, but this was not one of those. It definitely just stayed feeling a little bit oily on my skin and definitely looked oily and finished. So that is a huge no for me. I don't love the feeling of oils on my skin, and I definitely don't like how they look during the day either. And the last issue that I have with this is that it pilled like crazy on me. So yes, it pilled when I tried to apply makeup on top of it, but even by itself it pilled. Like, I got this clip of my neck and I was like, what the heck? Sunscreens that I feel like I test out just don't seem to do that to me anymore. So to have one do that so badly, I was definitely very surprised. So I would recommend passing on this. Fail. And the last two new skincare products that I wanted to test out are lip products. First up is the e.l.f. Skin Holy Hydration Lip Mask, which contains squalane, castor oil, and hyaluronic acid. Hi, are we panting? Well, girl, don't bite my hair. How would I describe the smell of this? Kind of smells like a Jolly Rancher. It's definitely sugary, and usually I hate that, but this isn't the worst sugary smell I have smelled. The texture of this is super nice. It has that same kind of melty feel that the Laneige lip mask has, but it has more of a jelly consistency where the Laneige one is a little bit creamier. So it's very nice to initially apply. It feels really, really soft and juicy on the lips, but it's definitely not one that lasts a long time on me. So just depends on what you're looking for. If you just love the experience of applying a nice feeling lip product and you want to do that at an affordable price and you don't mind it not lasting forever, then I think that you'll really like it. Even though I definitely wish this smelled like vanilla. And the other one is the Neutrogena Hydrating Lip Sleeping Mask. This is part of their Hydro Boost range and it contains petrolatum, vitamin E, and hyaluronic acid. I am really tempted to put this on my lips right now because it feels so good, but I don't want to mess up my lip liner and gloss. This one doesn't really have any smell at all. This feels so good. I was not expecting to love this as much as I do, but I do. It's also kind of melty, but it's definitely a bit cushier than the e.l.f. mask, and I prefer this one to that. I also like that it comes in a squeezy tube because it's just more hygienic. And even though this also doesn't last a super long time on me, I have been wearing it nonstop because it just feels so soft and plush on my lips. So these are both great drugstore options. If neither of these looked up your alley or you would like to see the rest of my lip treatment collection, then I am going to link a video that I posted recently in the description box below. I rank my entire lip treatment collection, which includes treatments, masks, balmy products, things of that nature, and I had not yet purchased these or at least tested them out at the time that I filmed that video, so that will be listed below. I include a lot of other popular products like the Road Lip Treatment. That's there for you too. All right, let's wrap this video up with hair care. First up is not that new of a launch. It is the Function of Beauty Wavy Hair Zero Gravity Styling Mousse. This has definitely been around for, well, maybe it's almost like a year at this point. They launched some styling products as part of their collection at Target, and I had my eye on them for a while, never got around to trying them, but I wanted to test this out and see if it would help to make my Dyson Airwrap curls hold longer, or just any curl that isn't a heatless curl. And this doesn't really have anything that special to call out. It has aloe and apple extract. I don't really look for super nice ingredients in styling products because that's not the purpose of me using a styling product. I just want it to work and not make my hair feel gross. And it definitely doesn't make my hair feel gross. I will say that. It's a really nice, soft, non-sticky mousse. It's lightweight. It didn't leave any weird residue in my hair. It didn't make it look dry. It didn't make it feel gritty. So all of that was awesome, but it just didn't really do anything for me. Definitely didn't help to prolong my style. I tried it a few times and every time it didn't work. That may not be the case for you. I think that styling products can be really hit or miss depending on your hair type and texture. So I hope that this does work for some of you. You'll have to let us know in the comments below if it does, but unfortunately, not for me and my hair type. Next up is the SGX NYC Dry Touch Shampuff, which is a volumizing dry shampoo powder. SGX NYC has some really great styling products, so I wanted to test this out the second I saw it. I would say that this has kind of like a fresh, clean smell. It is pretty potent. I will say that. I wish it was a little bit less fragrant. It's almost like a cleaning product smell, but less chemically. And this has a pump on top of it, which has pros and cons. I was really excited about that at first because I have tried other dry shampoo powders that just kind of have like the sifter on top, and I feel like they're messy and difficult to like direct in the place that you want, but I found this one to be a little bit difficult to work with. It's one you have to finagle because the pump just like pumps straight out into one spot on your head and doesn't like spread it out, if that makes any sense at all. So I applied several pumps and then I really had to spend my time rubbing this in to make sure that it was fully absorbed and there wasn't any intense white cast. And then at that point, I would say it definitely did a great job of absorbing the oils in my hair. It didn't give me a ton of volume, maybe like a little. And I wouldn't say that this one is completely residue free. I definitely have dry shampoo sprays that are more weightless and traceless in my hair. So it kind of just depends on what you're looking for in a dry shampoo. If the main thing you're looking for is a powder that absorbs oil, come on, there, then this definitely gets the job done, but not my favorite dry shampoo I've ever used. Second to last is a new launch from Eva NYC. It is their Main Magic 10-in-1 primer for fine hair. When I saw this, I knew I had to test it out because their original Main Magic primer is something that I really enjoy, but it definitely does have a little bit of an oily feel and leaves a bit of an oily residue in the hair, so I wanted to see if this did less of that. This contains argan oil, sunflower seed oil, and squalane, so some really nice oils just like their original formula. And while I would say that this is lighter weight than the original, it still has that same kind of oily feel. Like if you spray this in your hand, you'll see it's just like an oily sheen and it feels like oil. So it's great for adding shine and great at detangling the hair, but it's definitely not something that you want to go in with a heavy hand. To go in with. You don't want to apply a lot of this product. Let's say that. And last is the new Revlon One-Step Blowout Attachment or tool. It is the Revlon One-Step Blowout, come on, curls. So this comes with their blow dryer attachment and the curling barrel attachment, and I totally thought that this was going to be their attempt at duping Dyson. And I guess in a way it is, because it is a hot air curling tool that you can, you know, switch out attachments for, but it doesn't rotate at all like the Dyson or the Shark or any of those other tools. Instead, what they mean by 360-degree airflow is that it comes out of this tool all the way around because it's just vented. So it's completely the same as a regular curling barrel, except for the fact that it has those vents, which is what allows the air to flow through so that you can get that curl through air and not just heat. The dryer works great. I would say that this dries my hair just as quickly as any of my other styling tools, so I liked that. And the curling barrel also does work really well. I love how long it is. I know a lot of people did not like that they added a clamp, but I love a good clamp. I feel like it just makes it easier to use. However, there are some issues that I have with this. The first being that it gets so hot because of the fact that it's vented and blowing hot air on you while you use it. So my face was on fire, my ear was on fire, my scalp was on fire, not because this is hotter than other styling tools, but because it's vented and blowing hot air on you. And the other styling tools that do rotate don't do that. They like keep the heat in them so that it's just on your hair and not blowing out on you. So that right there probably would make it a deal breaker for a lot of people. And on top of that, it's also just so noisy, which it's more affordable than the Dyson, which is $600. So it's like when you're paying about $80 for a tool, you can't complain as much as maybe you would others, but still it is incredibly loud. So if that's something that would annoy you, pass on this. So this, I don't know, is just really going to be up to you and what you're willing to tolerate. If you're okay with being scorched by heat, then you do get a really beautiful result. And I don't think you can tell the difference between the curls that you get with this tool and something like the Dyson. However, there are clear issues. So hopefully they improve on those in the future, because I feel like right now, All right, you guys, those are all of the products that I wanted to talk to you about today. So we are going to wrap this video up here. I hope that you enjoyed it, and you'll have to let me know in the comments below if you're going to test out any of these products after watching this video. If so, as always, they will all be listed and linked in my description box below. And other than that, you know the drill. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, click on that notification bell, and send my channel to a friend that you think would enjoy my content. Thank you so much for doing those things. Thank you for watching my videos. I love the freaking heck out of you guys. Make sure to stay tuned for my next one, because that will be up in a few days. But until then, I hope you have a great few days.